What's up guys, this is Amar from Tech Heal. We build computers, gaming computers for a lot of people. So this is the first time we're recording our video on how to build a computer right from the scratch. First of all, as you know that this is a Antec GX505 case. We'll be using this with an i3 processor, a 250 gigs of M2 SSD drive, 500 volts power supply, a Z370 board, 8 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 1050 Ti. So without further ado, let's just get started with the build. Okay, things which you need to do. First of all, take both of the covers off, screws are there. So let's just take it off and put it down anywhere safe, which you like. Okay, now take the back cover off. Now, as you see, we have both of the cover offs. This is how it's gonna look like. Okay, first things first. See all of these cables out there? We'll just get rid of them first. Put them in all in the back so we can focus on our motherboards and everything first. Okay, let's see now. We have the cables. Let's just take them out from the back, as we will be using each one of them separately. It's kind of like a little bit tricky to take them off. So just be careful not to break or damage any of the cables. Okay, now it's off. Okay, what to do first? People usually start with just putting in the motherboards and everything, and it's a good thing, but I do not recommend it. Reasons is, first of all, put your power supply in. Why? Sometimes you have a hole like this, you can see with my finger, in which you can point out the CPU cable. But if you put your motherboard, a Z370, then that's a big board. It's a full ADX board. If you put it in, it will definitely hide it, and that will interfere with our cable management. So first of all, let's just put in the power supply and see how it goes from there. So here I have an EVGA 500 volts bronze certified power supply. Let's just use this one for now. Oh yeah, one more thing. The tools I'm going to be using is just a screwdriver and a nose flash for just cable management. That's it. No other things required to build a PC. It's quite simple. So let's just take this off. It's kind of like a little bit sticky. It's going to be a little bit. Okay. Okay. So what comes with the power supply? Cable. We don't need that. Manual. Don't need that either. Comes with screws. Good. We'll need that later on, but not now. Now here's the power supply. As you can see, it's an EVGA 500 volts bronze certified power supply. Let's just put this in. Don't open up the cable first. Let's just put this in and see how it goes from there. Okay, so now we have the power supply in, and let's just use the screws and screw it in. A lot of the time people ask us on how you build them and how do you do the cable management and everything, and we reply, and sometimes some of them are not able to figure out. So this video would be quite helpful for the beginners as well as some professionals as well. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so let's screw in the power supply. You have to match in all of the screws over here. As you can see, the power supply screws are going to be like, put it in and just match in the holes. And I have my holes matched up. Here you go. So let's just screw it in. One screw and then the other one. Now as we have both screws in, it will be easy to put the rest of the screws. So let's just figure out where the rest of the screws are. Okay, one goes over here, and there should be one more. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. So let's just see where the other one is. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Now we have a power supply in. Now, this part is the motherboard. As you can see, we have over here a Z370 board with an i3 processor, Intel 8th Gen i3 processor. That's a really good processor. But I'm mostly an AMD fan, so I kind of don't like Intel that much. We are not putting in the RAM right now because I want to tell you. I'll tell you the reasons later on in the video that why am I not putting up a RAM. So let's just see. Putting a processor is really simple. It's like this. This is the front cover. Just open this up like this. It will go out, and just a little bit of push and it will take out the front cover like this. And then you take in the processor. Make sure to be careful. Do not damage the processor or the pins on the motherboard, otherwise it will not work. So as you can see closely, there are these 2 points out here, and these 2 points are also in the processor, so you'll be able to easily put that in. For the AMD it's a little bit tricky, but yeah, you'll be able to figure it out. So now we just put it in, and boom, you have our processor in. Before putting in the motherboard, in most of the ADX cases or mid-tower cases, they have standoffs. So standoffs kind of look like, let me show you, kind of look like this. As you can see, it's kind of like a small thing. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 standoffs. Depends on the board. Either you're using a full ADX board, an MADX board, or an IDX board. It all depends on the standoffs, where do they go. As for the ADX board, if you check these points means where the screws of the motherboard will go in. So count these, 1, 2, 3, and then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. By default, it came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 standoffs, so it means that we need 2 more. Every case manufacturers provides with 9 standoffs. Some of them might provide with 10. I haven't seen a case which has 10 standoffs still yet, but sometimes they do. So let's just put in. So where to put in the standoffs? Oh, I accidentally dropped one. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Take the board, put it in. Just be careful not to damage the board itself. Put it in and match the exact points where it goes. 1, 2, 3. So we need standoffs over here, here, and here. Let's just take our board out. Be careful not to damage the board, the fans or anything. Okay. So now we need 6, so we'll put it. Let's just put our 1. You don't have to tie it all the way in. It will automatically tie itself when you're going to put in the screws on the motherboard. Our standoffs are a little bit tricky to put in. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. Ooh, it's giving me... That's what this nose plastic is for. Why am I not using it? Silly me. Oh, I dropped it. Sorry. Let's see now. Kind of like a little bit slippery, so you just need a little bit of clip. Here you go. let's just tie it up. Now we have only one standoff left. Let's see if I can put it like this, or do I need to have that snow splash helping me? I don't like that snow splash helping me at all. I like to use my hands and a screwdriver. That's it. Now we have all the standoffs in, so let's just put in the before putting in the motherboard, let's just take out our CPU cable and see how are we going to manage it. Okay, so this is our CPU cable. It will have CPU written, that's on all power supply. It's a little bit tricky to do cable management with just a normal power supply. With a fully modular power supply or even a semi-modular power supply, it's quite really good. But I'll try my best to explain to you how to do it properly. Hope you like it. So let's just take this out from here, as my case has a way to go with it. So I'll just take it out from here and I'll just put it over here, so I can easily access it later on. I don't need to okay, now let's see. Now we have it over here. Before putting in the motherboard, a lot of people forget to put the backplate in. Please do not forget that. It's one of the most important parts. I'm just exaggerating. It's not one of the most important parts, but it's good to have it. It's a little bit tricky to put that, so let's see how it goes. You'll have cables and everything, and you might need to plug it in. So I have 1, 2, 3. You will hear the clicking noise. If it fits in properly, you will hear the clicking noise. So now let's just put in the board. Okay, before that, read your instruction manuals that comes with your case. Reason: separate the screws. I've already separated all of my screws which I'll be needing, because I'll only be needing 9 screws for the motherboard, 2 screws for the graphics card. Already have screws for the power supply already in. For the SSD drive, I'll show you later, but I think let's just first put in the SSD drive, because that's an M2 drive I have, so it would be best if I just put it in without. So let's see, it's a Western Digital Blue SSD drive, 250 gigs. Let's just put it in. Now we have the M2 drive. Oh man, they packed it too damn. Okay. All of the motherboards which supports M2 comes with an M2 screw in them. Otherwise, you can also find it in your case or motherboard, like the motherboard case, something like that. But they will come with it, so you don't have to worry about getting a separate screw. Some of the times, even the SSD company providers provide the screws. Let's just take that screw out first. Putting the SMC drive. Okay, now I have my M2 screw out. Putting the drive is really simple. You'll have this points cut in. You can easily determine the points by the M2 connector. So I have this. As you can see, I have it like this, but it's not going all the way in. As you can see, there's one screw over here as well. That's for, I can put that M2 drive on the other one and get it seated properly. So let's do that. This screw I was talking about, this was already here, so I just took it out from here and put it over here. And let me just put it back. Okay, now the screw's in. Put the SSD drive in. And just put the SSD drive screw in, that's it, simple. Okay, it's screwed in properly, all the way in. That's good. Now let's put in our motherboard and see how it's gonna go from there. Okay. I'm trying to put it without tilting the case so you could see properly what I'm doing. Okay, it's gonna go in and yeah, perfect. I might have to throw the case, but let's see if I do or not. Because I need to get this PSU cable from up there, but I don't think so it's gonna work. But I'm just gonna even give it a try and see if I can get it to work. Otherwise I'll get it from down, not a problem. Let's see, yep. It's going in, it's going in. And it's not going. Okay, yeah, here you go. Yep, that all the way in. Let's see from the back if all the ports are coming in properly. Oh yeah, here you go. All the ports are coming in out properly. And now we have a motherboard in. As I mentioned, I already took out the screws, so let's just put them in one by one. One of them is gonna go over here. And here you go. Just put one of them in, it will hold up the entire board itself. So there's no like, you can screw it randomly or any way you want. I just for fun screw it randomly, and most of the time I screw in 4 points like this, and then I can screw the rest later on. But let's see now. Screws in 1, 2, and here's the third. Remember to put all of the screws in. Do not leave any screw. It will not harm your board if you leave a screw or two, but it's good practice to put all of them in. Okay, so now I have how many screws left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2 screws left only. So let's just put 2 of them in, and from there we're good to go. Okay, so now we have all of our screws in. As you can see, the motherboard's in. Now, the reason I put in the power supply first, let's just see if this will work. And yep, it worked really good. I was able to hide the PSU cable, and without even getting it touching the fan, let's just install the PSU cable first. Oh, sorry, the CPU cable. Most of the time, like, I'm so focused in building, sometimes I forgot the names of everything. So let's just put it in. Okay, let's see, it's all the way in. Yep. Make sure that it's all the way in. You can do the management later on, but we have to make sure that it's all the way in. Yep, no gaps, no nothing. Okay, it's all the way in. You got this cable, and boom, perfect. As you can see, instead of running the cables in all jumblings and stuff like that, I just put it from the back first, put the board. It would have been harder if I just put the board first and then try taking it out the cable. Another way is, if your case does not have that back hole, I'll say, simple words, and you cannot get the cable out, run your cable here, from here. When you put your graphics card in, for this you're using a GTX 1050 Ti, Asus GTX 1050 Ti, As you can see, there's one little cut like this. So when you put this in, there's gonna be a cut like this. You can easily get your cable out from here and here, as you can follow my finger, and then put it in on the motherboard. So it's kind of like really simple. You can choose either way you want. So I've told you both of the ways. In this build, we do not have any external, internal hard drive or a DVD-ROM or anything. So we won't be using these. But in my next build, in my next video, I'll be using this exact same case for another one of our customers who requires a Ryzen build. And in that, we have a 1 terabyte hard drive. So I will be using these, and I'll be doing a little bit more cable management than this one. But let's just finish this first. Okay, so we have all of this taken out. All seems to be a little bit off. Want to see? Nope. Oh, sorry. It was all correct. I was just zooming in my head. It's a little bit off. I'm like to do it everything perfectly, so. And it's a little bit harder to see while making the video that I'm just gonna build it like this. I'm not gonna lay it down or anything so you can see clearly. So we'll do the cable management later. Let's just put in the graphics card now. I'm not putting in the RAM right now. I'll put in it later. So okay, there are two graphics card PCI connectors. Once this one. Some boards have three, so not a problem. Make sure to always put your main graphics card, like if you have a dual, then that's a different story. But even in the dual graphics card, the main one that you'll be using for display and everything on a first port. The reason is, it's a little bit technical, so but I'm still making this, so let's just say it's a little bit more easier and faster on this. So let's just put this in, and be careful not to damage the graphics card. Oh yeah, you'll have these. You can easily take them out by just pressing it with your finger. That's it, I would say. Let's just put it in, and perfect. Now we have that in. Now, oh yeah, let me just get the Wi-Fi card. I'll be putting this on my belt. For the Wi-Fi card over here, we have the Gigabyte wireless card. It's a really good Wi-Fi card. I really like it personally. But there are others you can find like MSI, Asus, so it's all up to your personal taste, but it doesn't matter whether you get a Gigabyte card. But yeah, for the PC components, I mainly use MSI and Asus products. It's not like I don't like Gigabyte, it's just that I mainly use these two. Sometimes I do use Gigabyte for graphics card and motherboard, especially if I'm building a mining rig for my customers. Then yeah, I might prefer using what's that called? A Gigabyte product, yeah. But yeah, I do love them. It's just a matter of personal taste. It's not like I have any problems or anything with them before in the past or anything. No, nothing like that. So as you can see, I'm just taking it out just by doing it like this because I need to put the card in. So let's just put the card in, and yeah, perfect. You can put in any of the slots. I just put it in over here. You can put it over here. Not over here. It's just gonna be like down the graphic card, so it's not good because we need the heat to pass. So let's just screw in our card in. So now we need three more screws. These are the screws that you'll be using for the graphics card and the Wi-Fi card. Yep. So let's just put them in like this. it's all the way. Oh, sorry, it's not all the way in. Okay, here you go. It's all the way in. Fit in properly. Now let's just put in the screws for our graphics card. 2 screws. All of the graphics card have 2 screws that goes. So remember to put both of them in. The middle one is really important because it holds the graphics card in its proper position. So that's going to be really, really important. Working on the alignment. Yeah, here you go. Perfect. Just working on the alignment of this. Perfect. Perfectly aligned. So now we have our graphics card, Wi-Fi card, processor, motherboard, the hard drive, or the SSD drive. So it all now comes down to the cable management and anything else? Am I missing something? The cooler. Let's just see. I'll install that cooler later. First, I'll do the cable management. Okay, first rule of cable management: figure out what cables you need. In this one, I needed the CPU cable that's up over here. As you can see, it's all plugged in right now. So I don't. Okay. Next is this big cable for the motherboard. You see this? That's for the motherboard. I'll need this. I do not need any SATA cable right now or any PCIe cable because it's GTX 1050 Ti, so it doesn't need a PCI cable to run. Some other times it do if you buy a Gaming X edition or a Gigabyte WindForce or even like a dual fan or triple fan edition of the GTX 1050 Ti. Might need it in later cards like GTX 1060, AMD RX 570, 580, 1070, 1080, 1080 Ti. They all require the PCIe cable. So we don't need the PCI cable, we only need the motherboard. And this, I just took it out here. And now let's see, what cables do I need? I don't need the PCI cable, I'll just put it away. I don't need the SATA cables. I'll put that one away. I'll need this cable because of the fans and lightnings we have. So I'll take this one out only. So we have only 3 cables which we need and which we're going to use. So let's just now separate this. For these 3 cables, as we do not need them, let's just tie them up so it's clean. So let's just like tie them up how they were tied before and get them in their proper places. 2, 3. Now we'll just like tie them up like this and we'll use this, or it's so not big cable, so I'll just use this and tie them up and leave it down here. So let's just tie them up. Okay, it's all now tied up. And I could have left it over here as well, but you might not know when you might need to install a hard drive or anything, and this might mess up a little bit. So that's, in the end, it all depends on your taste. What you want to do. It's not like it doesn't matter or anything. So, okay. Now comes the tricky part. We'll see what we have at the back. Whoa, that's gonna be not tough, but a little bit kind of like, okay, let's see now. I'll take the cables off first. Right now we haven't connected any of the cables to the motherboard. There are a few cables which connects to the board itself, so I'll do that later. But first of all, I'm gonna take all the cables which I need. So I'll need this, I'll need this, and I'll need this. Actually, I'm gonna run the motherboard cable not from here, but from here. Okay. Let's be a little bit creative, an artist, you know, and get this one out as well. And just be careful not to mess up with any of the cables, not to push too much. If it gets damaged, then you're not screwed, but still, don't try to get it damaged. Okay, I'll just open everything up because I'll make the management. Doing cable management on a non-modular power supply gets trickier and trickier. So I'll just take these cables away from my side first. Okay, so this is the USB cable which we will be using, and we can run it later on. So let's just take. Our cables are a little bit messy. Okay, yeah, we got it cleared. This is our audio cable. Let's just use that later. And this one's for the lightnings. We'll use that later. And then let's just make them a little bit good. This is for the fan. We'll use that later. This is for the power LED. We'll use that. Not later, we'll use that really soon. Okay. And then comes our power. Good. And what do we have? Our reset switch is gonna be, oh, it's the HDD. Okay, good. And where are you hiding the reset cable? Oh yeah, there it is. The reset. Okay, let's see. Why is one of them short? Okay, I want to see a few things. So now I'm gonna move these cables, these ones, which I'll have to put in the motherboard later on. So I'm gonna move them, and these are the fans, by the way, so I'll just remove this one for now because I'll be installing the fan.